Fashion Insider friends, what is up? This is the Fashion Crimes podcast where I cover all things fashion, style, shopping, style inspiration, and interview incredible small business owners who are changing the fashion industry for the better. Yes, I'm the best friend you never knew you needed and the poster child for fashion over 40, and I mean way after 40. Say it with me, fashion and style are your friends, not your enemies. I'm Holly Cates, your favorite personal stylist, and let's keep it real, the only Holly you need to know. Turn it up, because I got a lot to say, and I am super stoked you're here. Happy August and Summer Olympics, everybody. I've been absolutely loving the coverage of the Olympics, and I cannot believe how into it I am. For someone who is like as sports ignorant as me, like pretty sports ignorant, it has opened up a whole new world of off the wall sporting events that I am now a super fan of. I'm loving the running, especially the mixed baton passing. I don't think that's the correct name of it, but it's men and women passing the baton to each other. I've never seen that in the same race. But the swimming, the handball, which is kind of like a mix of basketball and soccer, and the shot put. I watched the men's trampoline, which was insane. And the street skating, the women's ping pong. I mean, are you kidding me with that? It was Korea against Japan. And it was probably one of the scariest things that I've ever seen. She was like channeling the ball and had it like so close to her nose, looking at it, talking to it. And I'm thinking, she was telling the ball, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. It was very intense and so quick. It was fascinating to watch. I have never witnessed a ping pong game like that before. The men's windsurfing, go Israel. Of course, the women's gymnastics, duh. Anyway, I'm dying to see the breakdancing. That's on August the 9th, I found out. But I am continually impressed by all the events and the athletes, as it's just a world that I did not know would be so interesting until I started watching it. Yes, the so-called, I'm using air quotes here, racy opening ceremonies I saw parts of, and every part that I saw, I loved. I loved it, especially the water dancing, the artwork coming out of the river, Lady Gaga, all the musical acts. It was just bigger than life. Never have I ever seen anything remotely close to a show like that. What an incredible tribute to the Olympic Games. And I don't know how any other opening ceremony will be able to compare to this in the future, like ever. It's been the biggest topic of fashion news, actually, according to the New York Times, of what the athletes were wearing: Snoop Dogg, Flava Flav, celebrities on the red carpet, and the hair and the makeup and the nails of some of the athletes of note, like Sha'Carri Richardson with her iconic nails, who literally is the fastest woman in the world at age 24. The blazers from Ralph Lauren, of course, which look equally amazeballs on both the men and the women, which is not an easy thing to do. It's really not. They were absolute perfection, from the contrast piping to the cuts to the logos, the color. Everything was just perfection. Who else other than Ralph Lauren embodies the spirit and importance of the American athletes? I don't know. Nobody. Those jackets, those blazers that the Americans were wearing will forever go down in history as some of the most important pieces of American fashion history. I can totally see one of those jackets in the Smithsonian one day, really. And Anna Wintour was spotted in the audience of the women's gymnastics competition. So you know the looks were on. And everyone was repping the USA on their best fashion behavior. I'm talking about the celebrities. Those who were most fabulous, in my opinion, were Kendall Jenner, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Some in all white and some with USA-themed swag. Jessica Chastain, she was just wearing a USA t-shirt, but she's gorgeous and she looks good in a trash bag. And speaking of the women's gymnastics, let's just chat about these leotards right quick. which were absolute, complete, total works of art for the team of the Fabulous Five. That's what I call them. However, their official team name is called the Golden Girls, which I love since Simone is the oldest woman to win a gold in this category, and she made up that name. Shama Nasende of Teen Vogue schooled me on the design process and intensity that went into making the U.S. Olympic leotards for these women by the company GK Elite, starting with, but not limited to, thousands and thousands of Swarovski crystals and Swarovski pearls for each leotard. Some are applied by machine. A lot of it was applied by machine, but a lot of it not by hand. Each gymnast gets 8 specifically laser precision cut leotards, all strategically named for each design, like Go for Glory and Star Spangled Shine. This design process started 4 years ago and requires a round-the-clock design team. Alyssa Lapide of Bustle featured Simone Biles in her 546 diamond-shaped goat pendant necklace by Janet Heller, fine jewelry out of LA. I mean, I have never seen a goat pendant in my life on a necklace until now, and I've certainly never seen one in diamonds, 546 diamonds. But let's just say now I want one, okay? Kudos to Janet Heller, as now I'm sure she will be up to her ceiling in custom orders. Did you listen to last week's episode with Jessica about her weight loss journey after gastric bypass surgery? A huge thank you and love you and shout out goes to Jessica for being so vulnerable with us and giving us the real story of how she is adjusting to her new lifestyle and her new body. And if you haven't listened to this episode, which is episode 207, please do so, like today. It's so funny because she is hilarious and she spares no detail about how she literally made a decision to break the chain of risky health behaviors to turn her life around and really choose herself over the cycle of negative feelings that she was having. The surgery not only risked her life, but totally saved her life and gave her a second chance to be the person she was meant to be. Gaining and losing weight is a natural part of life and is inevitable to happen to most people in life. But when it starts to bury you in a black hole, the chances of getting out become slimmer and less likely as the days pass by. We are so proud of Jessica's ability to take control over her own mental health and come out on top. She's saying she's not done, but this is the healthiest she's looked to me in years. Notice I didn't say skinny or thin. She looks healthy at a weight that she can maintain. If she chooses to go further, then great. That's a personal decision that she is learning to adapt to. And really, she's just making up for lost time. And she is not looking back. If you are someone you know is going through a dramatic weight loss, please pass this episode along, as it might be exactly what someone needs to hear for motivation and support. It's Friday, Fashion Besties, and you know what that means. Time for another update on hot items that you should know about. In this case, I had fashion bestie Christina reach out to me, and she said, and I quote, "I would love another sneaker episode. Like, what are the most iconic styles? How do I make New Balances look cool and like not like what my dad wears? And should I really be trying higher socks? I like wearing sneakers when I don't have meetings and I can work in several walks throughout the day, but I still want to look cute and put together." Now, and thank you, Christina, for asking. Now, if you go back to episode 128, that was the first quote, how to style sneakers episode. If you want to start there, please feel free to do so with the coordinating Pinterest board, which of course will be in the show notes from episode 128. There are a few points from that episode that I'd like to go over, sort of like a recap, just so you can review and get your act together so we're all on the same page. So the types of sneaker style that are important to know are workout sneakers, rec sneakers, which stands for recreational sneakers, and fashion sneakers. So the workout sneakers are probably the most recognizable and the most popular, and often can be confusing on how to wear them. But I can sum that up in one sentence for you. You wear them to work out in, and that's it. That's it. That goes for walking, running, and cross-training shoes. They are workout shoes and only should be worn to work out in. In the same way, you wouldn't just throw on an apron to go outside and hang out if you weren't cooking in the kitchen. So you don't wear workout shoes outside of working out. Really? Because you want to extend the life and the function of your shoes, which is to support you when you're working out. If you wear them all the time, they won't give you the cushion support that you need when you work out or if you exercise. That's why if you want to be comfortable and wear sneakers, you can do it in a stylish way by wearing a rec sneaker or fashion sneaker. Some people call it a lifestyle sneaker. It's really up to you. A rec sneaker is a shoe like a hip New Balance or Saucony or Adidas. Sure, you can work out in them. However, it's more of a fashion statement. Now, I have some Sauconys that I love that I got in Italy. If push came to shove and I forgot my workout shoes, of course I could work out in them, but I choose not to because I have better sneakers for that. So I wear them if I'm on vacation or I need to walk around a lot and be comfortable, but they don't look like I'm wearing workout shoes. That's the difference. Some brands that I like, of course, are Air Jordans. I have a couple pair of those. I have some Nike Sakai's, which is a designer collab. I also have the Wales Bonner designer collab with Adidas. They are pink with silver around the edges. I also have the Samba's Wales Bonner Adidas that are all silver. All these pics will be on my Instagram and they're going to be on your Pinterest board this week so you can see examples of what I'm talking about. All of these are rec sneakers, okay? Some sneakers in the fashion category are like the flat ones like Vejas, Nike Air Force Ones, Stan Smith, Converse, Supergas, Keds, the Adidas Sambas, like I just said, or any type of slip-on with no laces like the OG Vans, okay? These are usually flat soles, no cushion, no support. The good news about sneakers like these is that they usually go with just about anything from suits to dresses. You could put any classic white sneaker with a dressy look to make it look more casual, or if you're going to be on your feet for a really long time, this is a great way to be comfortable and cute simultaneously. Speaking of being cute, let's talk about what's not cute, okay? I want to talk about specifically Hoka's, which is the running shoe, and the On Clouds. Now, I completely understand the functionality of these shoes. I do. But I have seen these in places like really nice restaurants, okay, and other restaurants, in the airport especially, too many times to count, way too many. There is just no reason on the planet I should see any man or woman in Hoka running shoes in the fucking airport, like fully dressed in jeans or in a dress in Hoka's, okay? It's just a fucking terrible, terrible look and a fashion crime. You can choose from any other sneaker in the world, okay? That's a rec sneaker, like a New Balance or what have you. That's more on trend, okay? There was a TikTok video that I saw, and someone was on an airplane asking why all the white people were wearing On Cloud sneakers with the footage of people's feet to prove it. And it was like 9 people had on these dumbass On Cloud sneakers. Now, I will say that On Cloud has now offered some more updated styles as of late. However, the look is still the same. I do not support anyone wearing On Clouds as a fashion sneaker because you want to be comfortable. Now, if you're a nurse and you have to be on your feet all day, different story. When you're working out, of course, because they're workout shoes, not when you're dressed in a real outfit. Girl, no, okay? And please, please, I beg you, tell your husbands, your boyfriends, your partners, whoever. This, of course, goes along with any man wearing sandals in the airport or quote unquote dressed, okay? This goes, and I've said this before, this goes for flip-flops, Tevas, Chacos, and Birkenstocks. Just stop. I should never see another man's feet unless he is at the beach or the pool, period. That is a fashion crime. I would never, ever let Jonathan out the front door. Ever. Never. I don't care if your husband's going on a fishing trip. He has to fly to God knows where. He's flying down to Aruba or Cancun or the Cayman Islands or whatever, and everyone's meeting in Florida. If you are in the airport, flip-flops and sandals are not allowed, period, if you're a guy. Or hokas and on clouds with jeans. No, absolutely not. If you're flying international, please bring flip-flops or something like that, or slides for the plane to walk around in. But you should be wearing real shoes, okay? Real shoes. Again, millions and gajillions of other sneakers in the world to choose from. I love that they're comfortable. It's great. Wear them to your heart's content to work out in. Run a marathon, run 100 miles, run as far as you want to go, walk, what have you, do whatever you want. Do not wear those shoes on clouds and hokas as you're going out to dinner. Don't do it. When it comes to socks, Christina has brought up the issue of trendy socks. And should she be wearing longer socks? So let's start with sock basics that you should own, and we'll get to her sock question. The types of socks that you should have in your drawer, let's just say your organized sock drawer, that's a whole nother podcast episode, are the following categories. Winter knee socks. These go under cowboy boots, winter boots, what have you. These aren't really to be shown. So if you want to wear funny socks, wacko socks, or trendy socks, this is where you do that, okay? I like socks that come all the way to the knee, not cutting me off like mid-calf. You want to wear longer socks for warmth, especially if you're going to be outside for a particular amount of time. And if you wear hard sole boots that are like fabulous leather to the knee boots, high heel, not high heel, doesn't matter. I like to wear knee socks that are like tights that are usually called trouser socks. In no way am I going to wear knee highs, which are hosiery that just comes to the knee. You want a thicker denier, like an opaque tight, but it's just in a sock. Athletic socks, which can be the following lengths. No show ankle, no show, I said, or mid-calf. Notice I did not say short socks above the ankle bone or full knee socks, because the scrunch socks are back on trend. They are. It is acceptable to wear these only really if you like the look. It's not a deal breaker. Don't feel pressured to try this trend. It's not that fucking serious, okay? I do have a few pair that I wear sometimes, but I usually wear those in the winter because I wear longer workout tights and then I have my longer socks on. There's a lot of examples on your Pinterest board for this week. To me, if you're going to wear athletic socks to work out in, or if you're going to be walking for a very long period of time, like if you're going on a trip, you're going to Europe, whatever, you want to wear a neutral color, especially if you can see your socks. If you're wearing no-shows, then the color, of course, doesn't really matter. Also, if you're wearing no-shows and they will not stay on your heels, they keep slipping off the back, then they are either cheap crap or they have shrunk in the wash. The technology for that has really come a long way. Grace Wu of Good Housekeeping online says, some socks may have unique features such as a seamless toe, targeted compression, or additional cushioning. Make sure to consider whether these options are helpful to you. If you find the top seam of socks irritating, a seamless toe can be a huge relief. If you're on your feet all day, a cushioned sole can feel like an instant upgrade, but if your feet are like super sweaty, that cushioning might trap more air and heat. So it's really a personal preference. Thank you, Grace Wu of Good Housekeeping Online. That was super helpful of you to inform us of that. In case you did not know, FYI, socks, they're not a luxury item, okay? Yes, they can be expensive, but obviously you get what you pay for. If you grab a 12-pack for $5 at a discount store, they're obviously not going to last you as long. You should keep them up and throw them away if they are beat down, have holes, are discolored, or if you've worn them for 1,000 years. Wearing socks like that, like I just mentioned, that's a fashion crime, okay? Especially socks that are falling apart or they're like threadbare on the bottom. Fashion crime. When you put on new socks, they feel much better. And the fibers obviously haven't been broken down in the wash from washing them 90,000 times. Just don't skimp on that, okay? Also, look at your sock drawer, and if it's not distinguished between the sock categories that I have mentioned previously, if it's just a fucking shit show when you open your drawer, that is a fashion crime, people. You're a grown adult, okay? You're a grown adult functioning in the world. You should have an organized sock drawer where you can find your matching socks. If you don't, then you know what you need to do, my friend. Don't get ready in chaos. Trying to find a matching pair of socks is chaos. And I don't care if you're in a hurry or if you're not in a hurry. Make your life easy. Take 10 minutes, clear out the crap so you only have nice socks that are matched up to serve you for the day. And if you have a shit ton of singles and they've just been sitting there for a minute reminding you that you haven't found the match, they got to go. Sorry, not sorry. Just rip off the Band-Aid and do it. Sock organization can be as follows, but are not limited to just my way. I have my tights in the back, winter knee socks next, moving forward, and my athletic socks are in the front because that's what I wear the most of. I don't put my socks in balls. You can, I just don't. That's not wrong. I fold them over each other. As long as they are matched and together and you can find them, your way to match and hold them is acceptable. Shout outs this week, of course, go to Christina, who wrote in asking me to cover the subject, and all those who wrote in to check on me after the How to Do Chemo in Style episode, which was episode 206. Please go back and listen to that if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and big love and shout outs to Sirwi, Teresa, Kathy, Rebecca, Kiara, Stacy, Maria, Christine, Jane, Sheba, Lori, and Sarah, and Angela. Petite style coach Angela Foster was episode 202, so please go back and listen to that if you haven't already. She's fabulous, totally fabulous, and she wrote in to check on me. I also want to give a gigantic thank you and shout out to Karen Viesta of the Welligant Woman podcast. She had me as a guest a few weeks back, and she has an incredible podcast about women's health in midlife. So check out my episode with her and her Instagram to learn all about the Welligant Woman podcast. That's WELLEGANT Woman on Instagram. And you can message her and she'll give you all the goods. Link will be in the show notes to our episode so you can listen to our convo. Love her. That's a wrap for today, Fashion Besties. Please let me know what you want to hear. I'm feeling good these days, so hit me up. Let me know what y'all need to know. Please follow us, drop me a line, let me know how you're doing. If you need fashion help, please note that you can book a free call with me. It's free to discuss your needs, and then we can see if we're a good fit to work together. You need me, you just might not know it yet, especially if you have an event coming up and you need help and you're not finding anything that you like, blah, 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 so forth, so on, and what have you. Hit me up, book a call, we can work together, and you can have me in your back pocket. And I don't know how your day can get any better. Have a great, fabulous, fashionable week. Fashion Besties, love you. See you next week. Bye.